Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Police Accountability Show. Remember, when you watch the Police Accountability Show, you agree to being offended, as well as nothing that you see in the Police Accountability Show constitutes legal advice in any way, shape, or form. Please seek out a local lawyer for your local laws. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Police Accountability Show. I'm your host, Chad Christophers, and we're here today to talk about kids' rights. Can kids use the police service? Easy answer, I do not believe so. I do not believe that they can use the police whatsoever. And you'll see I found this interesting article, and I believe it was on NBC News. Police violence against children sparks demand for use of force laws. There are no use of force laws in a lot of places for kids. Now, my personal experience, when I was a kid, they just hang up the phone on you. They hang up the phone, they ask to speak to an adult, they won't even find out why you're calling. That's my experience, because I unfortunately needed the police when I was a little kid, and they ignored me and just hung up on me. That's the police. That's my personal experience in the Toronto area. It was actually in Durham. They hung up on me. Durham, Ontario, Canada. In terms of police in other places, well, I did some searching and I couldn't find any examples of cases, nor have I heard of a case being initiated by a kid, meaning a kid called in and reported something. Now, that can't be the case. Kids, obviously, I've seen lots of articles where kids call in for emergency calls. You can call 911 and get someone help at the time, but try to put in a police complaint or try to get help from the police in any other way, I don't believe it's possible. And everything that I look and see that I can find online says that the police do not help kids. They do not take complaints from kids. Kids cannot use their service, and you do not want the police, someone to call the police on you as a kid. And it could be a legitimate call. It could be a swatting call. But you can see right here from the article I found, police violence against children sparks demand for use of force. And, running the police accountability group now for probably close to 15 years, to be honest with you. I've seen, unfortunately, a lot of attacks against children in school, and I think it's a way overbearing use of force. We need to have, again, specialized unit. I mean, I don't like having anything specialized for kids because it always attracts people who can stand being around kids a little too much, but we need same as we need specialized police to deal with mental health issues, we should have a specialized department to deal with kids and understanding. Because why? Because kids are people too. Kids are citizens too. You could bust all sorts of crimes because of kids. They go to school, they're attacked by teachers, they're attacked by other kids. You know what I mean? This is where they're learning about the police, about law and justice, about things like that. They're very impressionable. And a lot of kids out of school come up with thinking our system is nothing but a corrupt nightmare, which they are right. It is a corrupt nightmare. The only thing we can do is work on it. We can try to be better as citizens, but do kids have rights? No. They don't seem to have rights as far as the police are concerned. Now, I'm not saying police have never helped kids. There's lots of examples, and police, a lot of them are trying to be heroes and trying to help kids the best they can, but you got to realize at the same time, the same thing comes back to the police can only enforce laws after they've been broken. So there are deterrents, but they can't protect you. They can't protect kids, nor do they really seem to provide service to kids. And we see a lot of examples of things going in a negative way when people call the police or kids have to interact with the police. Because why? Because they're kids. And they're also adults who don't understand kids or may understand only their kids. There's a lot of that's another big problem with our society with the kids is all the different cultures, especially, and maybe not as big a problem in a place with as much immigration as Canada, but in a lot of places, you have different cultures, different ways of doing things, and these kids and families have different understandings of the law, different things going on in their lives. And races, the difference between different races and the idiosyncrasies between them can be very complicated. And the police really are not equipped to deal with this. So, what can you do about the lack of kid rights in your area? Well, you can support politicians that support kids' rights. It's amazing that our politicians now don't, but trust me, they do not. I can find no record and very little done for kids or their rights, especially here in Canada. Everywhere in the world, it would take a very long time to do the searching, but I have never seen an example otherwise. But again, people don't post up a lot of, hey, I had a great experience with the police. So you only see the negatives. But, the general consensus, everything that I read, see, and hear, it is a problem that is everywhere, kids not having rights. So what you can do is you can support your local politicians who support police accountability, who support police rights. Write a letter to your local politician. Be like, hey, what's up with the kids' rights? When are we getting some kids' rights? Where do orphans go? Do orphans have someone to call? Do the kids have someone to call? Because this is important. Kids are our future, right? They're our future. They're the next generation. And you can see the way people now react towards the police. Well, that comes a lot from what they've seen and experienced as kids, right? So having police who can deal with kids properly and in a professional way isn't very important. So you can make a difference by supporting kids' rights, by writing letters to your politicians and making your representatives aware that you care about kids' rights in your next election, that you want to see bills that help give kids rights, help the police, help the kids. Because right now, from what we can see, I don't see it. I haven't experienced it. Anyways, this has been Chad Christophers with Police Accountability. Don't work too hard.